The Hindustan Zinc Limited announced an interim relief of rupees 14,000 crore for the financial year 2016-2017. The dividend would be paid before March 2017. The production of the Hindustan Zinc Limited increased from 0.1 million ton in 2003 to 1.2 million in 2016. The Hindustan Zinc Limited had been a public sector undertaking until 2003. There is a story behind the privatization of the Hindustan Zinc Limited. 10 men in India urged the government of India to sell its public sector undertakings. They intensified their demand after the Prime Minister of India, after the period of the Prime Minister of India, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. They appointed suitable judges from Mumbai in the Supreme Court of India for this purpose. Further, they said that the public sector undertakings should not utilize their profit for their expansion. They should not hand over the profit to the government either, but they must invest the money in the stock market. The message was that the public sector undertaking, like the Oil and Natural Gas Commission, ONGC, should invest their profit not for expansion purposes, but in the stock market. The private companies would take the money from the stock market and exploit the natural resources like gas. Then they said that the government should not do any business. In fact, they said that it is not the business of the government to do business. They said that the government must govern the country and not do business. Furthermore, they said that the employees would not work under the government. They would work only under private employees. The fear of stick alone would make the employees to do the work, they said. When the judges from Mumbai began to function as the Chief Justice of India and senior judges, the Supreme Court of India exerted extraordinary pressure over the government to part with the public sector undertakings. They, at that time, cancelled the petrol outlets distributed by the members of parliament, saying that there was corruption in the distribution of petrol outlets. At the same time, they said that the government, that the court would not interfere in the economic policy and allowed some private companies to distribute petrol outlet. Thus they proved that India could be ruled by lawlessness. Realizing the dangers, the present man told the then Prime Minister of India, Mr. A.B. Vajpayee, that the public sector undertakings would be bought by the private companies using the ill-gotten wealth or the public money in the banks and the LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India. Further, the present man said that the private companies should use their surplus money, if any, to start new ventures rather than to buy the existing companies of the government of India. Here is the meaning of the message. The then Prime Minister of India convened a series of meetings with officials and the union ministers. He convened a meeting of the Advisory Council on Trade and Industry and decided to utilize the money in the banks and the LIC for large-scale public investments. He asked the private industries to ride on large-scale public investments. It was a momentous decision. It was one of the greatest decisions ever taken by any government. Until then and after that, the entire money in the banks and the LIC went to the stock market. But this decision was not to use the money to buy the shares. Therefore, it would send shock waves across the private industries. A powerful syndicate started to work in private interest. The Advisory Council, the Economic Advisory Council was then convened, and the Prime Minister of India, Mr. A.B. Vajpayee, was forced to retreat. He was asked to reverse the policies. As there was no other way, he surrendered to their pressure and devised some guidelines for selling the public sector undertakings. It was just to show that the government had no private interest in selling the public sector undertakings, and it was only to show that everything was going on as per law and not arbitrarily. One of the important guidelines was that the public sector undertakings should not be sold to any charge sheeter companies or tainted companies. The tainted company was defined as a charge sheet company. When the public sector Hindustan Zinc Limited was sold to Sterlite company, the present man said that the Sterlite company had been a charge sheeted one. The Prime Minister was taken aback by the allegation because it reinforced over an earlier allegation. At that time, the Supreme Court of India asked Ms. Jayalalitha to surrender the Tansy land purchased by her. The case was that she bought the Tansy land or the public property of the government of Tamil Nadu while she was in power. Then that violated the code of conduct. The Hindustan Zinc privatization was similar to the Tansy land case. Therefore, it was one of the most important factors that forced the then Prime Minister of India, Mr. Vajpayee, to abdicate power. He decided to relinquish power, but he was asked to continue in power by his senior ministers. The Supreme Court of India also told him that it would not show the allegations against him to the people. The opposition parties also agreed not to tell anything about the secrets behind the privatization of the Hindustan Zinc Limited and other public sector undertakings. The left parties also told him that they would not discuss this matter with the public. They even told him that they would manage the trade unions. But Mr. Vajpayee was not convinced. He thought that the illegalities committed by him would tarnish his image in the eye of the right-thinking people. Actually, he wanted to utilize even the public money in the banks, but he was made to commit great mistakes also. Therefore, in utter disgust, he advanced the election, lost the election, and decided to lead a secluded life. Now, the Hindustan Zinc Limited has announced a dividend of over 37,000 crore for 2016-2017. Even after paying the dividend, the Hindustan Zinc Limited will have a cash balance of rupee 15,000 crore. However, the profit of the Hindustan Zinc Limited for 2016-2017, according to the Hindustan Zinc Limited management, is less than or will be less than 10,000 crore. It put the profit for the quarter ended December 2016 at 2,300 crore only. Therefore, the total profit for 2016-2017 must be less than 10,000 crore. The regulation is consistent with the belief, common belief, that the companies that exploit the natural resources do not show even 10% of their income to the government. They believe, some believe that the companies do not show even 1% of their yield to the government. What would the Hindustan Zinc Limited do with the money? It can buy some other assets. It can deposit the money in secret accounts. Even then, the money would not be exhausted. Even if it pays ₹100 crore each to 100 susceptible individuals like union ministers, officials, and judges, it cannot exhaust this money. How can a government look at this profit and remain quiet? Does it show this profit due to an audit conducted by the Government of India as demanded by the present man? Nothing is clear. Now, this money cannot be shared by the shareholders of the Hindustan Zinc Limited. Even if someone takes 100 coins, old coins, he has to surrender it to the government. The Hindustan Zinc Limited also must surrender all its assets to the people because it belongs to the people. This money must be utilized for the physical and mental well-being of the people of Rajasthan. How is this possible? For this, the Chief Justice of India must be inaccessible to personal interest and endowed with all virtues. The other judges also must cooperate with him. Thank you.